Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but your favorite influencers sold you a lie. Honey is a scam, and the majority of claims promoted by those influencers aren't even remotely true. But it gets worse. Honey hasn't just been scamming you, the consumer, they've also been stealing money from influencers, including the very ones they paid to promote their product. And I'm not just talking about a few bucks here. I believe the scam has likely cost content creators millions of dollars. Sound crazy? Well, I didn't believe it at first either, until I experienced it myself firsthand. In fact, I'm confident this might just be the biggest influencer scam of all time, which is insane considering Honey is owned and run by PayPal, who purchased this company for $4 billion. This three-part series is the result of a multi-year investigation where I believe I've uncovered signs of advertising fraud, affiliate fraud, the illegal collection of personal data, deception, lies, coercion, extortion, the list goes on. I've reviewed hundreds of documents, adverts, sponsorships. I've reviewed emails between Honey and merchants, interviewed victims. Believe me, this runs deep. Now, I want to be clear, the views, allegations, and conclusions expressed in this series are my opinions, based on evidence I have gathered, which will be shared throughout. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Honey Trap.
So on December 2024, a YouTuber named MegaLag made a huge exposed video on PayPal's browser extension app, Honey. He basically exposed them for sniping affiliate link commissions away from YouTubers and also scamming just regular users of the app as well. They would do something called affiliate link sniping, where they would take an affiliate YouTuber's link and replace it with their own. So whenever a purchase was made using Honey, pretty much all the money that was made would go straight to PayPal and Honey, as opposed to the YouTubers that were promoting Honey. So they were basically stealing millions of dollars away from the YouTubers that were promoting it. And this resulted in so many YouTubers rescinding their partnerships with Honey, basically telling their fans to not use the app anymore. And it also resulted in all those millions of people who follow those YouTubers to stop using Honey as well. This was a huge deal because this actually resulted in so many people denouncing Honey publicly. It destroyed their reputation. And this exposed video got something like 15 million views in the first month. So it was a huge deal. There were multiple class action lawsuits that were filed against PayPal as well by a lot of the YouTubers that were scammed by them. And it was just like the biggest news story on YouTube for like a month or two. And then the guy who just made the video exposing Honey kind of just disappeared. We haven't heard if there's going to be a part 2. We haven't really gotten any type of update on his YouTube channel, and we're just kind of left wondering what happened to MegaLag. Now, before we get into that, why don't we go ahead and watch the preview that he did at the end of this video for part 2 and see what he said part 2 was going to include.
Honestly, at this point in my investigation, I thought I'd seen the worst of it. I thought I understood the full picture of Honey's shady business model. But here's the thing, what I haven't told you is that there were instances where Honey would actually work really well, finding me incredible discounts that seemed almost too good to be true. Now, it wasn't very often, but enough to confuse me. And there were even times when they weren't poaching affiliate commissions by claiming the credit for sales. These inconsistencies bugged me. It didn't add up with everything else I had discovered. It was clear I was missing something. Well, once I finally figured out what that was, I uncovered an even darker side to PayPal's scam, one that targeted an entirely new victim.
We started having problems where customers would get in touch via our support saying, oh hey, I just tried to use this discount, this 60% off coupon, and it doesn't work. I'd be like, dude, that is not your discount. Like, how did you get that? And they'd be like, oh, I just showed up through the Honey extension.
Yeah, it cost us thousands, and I haven't even looked into how far back it went.
At the end of the day, like, you need to make the numbers work, and if Honey is going to steal 10% of your revenue all the time, you're going to have to raise prices at the end of the day, and it's just like a really awful business model. Like, we've been so bad at them for so long.
So yeah, that was a preview for part 2, and it's been 6 months since part 1, and like I said, we haven't gotten any real update on his YouTube channel recently about where part 2 is. I've already made a YouTube video going over this, but MegaLag actually made a community post about 5 months ago saying, sorry for the delay. Now, in terms of delay, remember this community post was only made a month after his first video, so he considers 1 month a delay. He said part 2 was meant to come out weeks ago. So again, his first video was 6 months ago, and he made a community post 5 months ago saying the video was supposed to come out weeks ago. So it's safe to assume that part 2 was only supposed to come out about maybe 2 or 3 weeks after part 1. Part 2 was meant to come out weeks ago. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, most of which I cannot disclose right now. I had a good feeling this investigation would make some noise, but I wasn't anticipating 16 million views and multiple class action lawsuits. Please bear with me, I'm doing the best I can. Now, in terms of multiple class action lawsuits, I assume he means the lawsuits that are being filed against PayPal. And he also posted something that he said, Honey has lost 3 million users since my video went live. PayPal must be pissed. Yep, I would assume they are pretty pissed. And it seems like they're so pissed that they're delaying the upload of part 2 of this investigation. Now, those are the only updates that we've gotten on YouTube, but he does have other social media accounts that we can take a look at. So on his Instagram, it just seems like photos of him traveling and chilling, so I don't think that there's going to be any information here. He does have a Twitter though, and he has made multiple tweets since part 1 has went up. So on March 11th, he tweeted, breaking, Google has just announced that they are cracking down on browser extensions. This is huge. And obviously one of the browser extensions involved would be Honey. So I would assume that was a direct result of MegaLag's video. And then he also responded to somebody saying, eBay offered me this today, maybe check it. Sounds exactly like Honey, and it's Capital One Shopping, which is pretty much a similar type of thing as Honey. MegaLag replied, interesting, thanks for sharing. Now, when you look at the replies to his tweet, there were people who were saying, you know, when is part 2 coming out? And MegaLag did not reply to anybody who said that. He also quote retweeted a tweet from CoffeeZilla. And on this tweet, there were also a bunch of people that were saying, yeah, you know, are you okay? When is part 2 coming out? And again, he kind of just ignored everybody. He also made another tweet on June about these robots that are coming out. And people just kind of keep asking him, where's part 2? Are you okay? He did reply to one person who said, dude is still alive, thought PayPal got you, and he said, I'm alive. So where's part 2? Why does he not want to speak about part 2? Well, I think we all kind of already know the answer. He is likely being silenced with some sort of litigation from PayPal. Now, he actually does have a Patreon, which we can look at, and the Patreon actually does have an update on what happened to part 2 of the investigation. Keep in mind that I can't show you guys the full video because I would have to pay for his Patreon and I can't pay for the Patreon. But yeah, let's just see what the preview is and see what he says in it.
Hey everyone, I'm alive. I'm alive and I'm here to give you guys a much needed update on what's been happening with the Honey investigation. I'm sure many of you have been wondering what's been happening behind the scenes, what happened with part 2, why is it taking so long, etc. Unfortunately, I can't answer all of those questions in full detail. I wish I could, but there are just some things that I can't share with you right now.
Yeah, that was it. That was a preview. So, you know, it didn't really give us too much information, but, you know, I'm not some sort of legal expert or anything. In fact, I'm usually the one who's being threatened with lawsuits. You guys know this. But if I was a betting man, I would assume that he is actually getting sued by PayPal themselves. I would assume that they are going to be suing him for defamation. Obviously, they don't have any grounds for the defamation part in terms of him like slandering them or lying about them. It looks like everything he did was very well investigated. It looks like he was telling the truth about everything, but they can't get him for monetary damages to their product and company. Remember, it's PayPal. They're like $1 billion company. I'm sure they have great lawyers. They can find some sort of loophole and they can kind of get MegaLag stuck in legal issues for months and possibly even years. Remember, as we went over earlier, MegaLag considered a 2 or 3 week delay as, like I said, a delay. So there's no way he's willingly waiting 6 months to upload part 2. He's obviously stuck in some sort of legal battle with PayPal, and he's probably maybe even participating in those class action lawsuits against PayPal in terms of like, you know, giving statements about it. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about the legal processes, but just him saying those things on his Patreon where he said, I just can't reveal anything right now. Usually lawyers will advise you to not reveal any type of information about some sort of ongoing legal process because that could kind of hurt your case a little bit. So I would assume that he's going through some sort of legal battle with PayPal. Like I said earlier, this was not just some sort of mini exposed video. This video got like 15 million views in the first month. It was huge and it caused millions of people to stop using Honey and to never even start using it to begin with because they saw MegaLag's video. So yeah, it does seem like MegaLag is okay. It seems like he's just probably wrapped up in a lot of legal battles. As for when part 2 will come out, honestly, I have no idea. He could be wrapped up in this legal stuff for months and like I said, sometimes even years. Hopefully part 2 does come out soon. I'm sure he has a lot more to say about Honey, but he probably just can't say it right now because PayPal is telling him to shut the hell up. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. What do you guys think happened to MegaLag? Why do you guys think it's taking him so long to upload part 2? Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more.